everyone, this is Shelly from StenoStitches, and this is FlossTube episode number 4. First off, if you're new, welcome. Thanks for coming by. I hope you like what you see. If you do, please like and subscribe and come back and join me for the next video. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you like what you've been seeing and you come back again. So of course, we're almost halfway through May and I've been doing a SANE-IA, so I have a little bit of a update on that. I can honestly say that it has been a little bit too sane. Not enough fun. I don't want to say I want to be filled with mania, but a little bit more fun, a little bit more new starts, I think maybe would be a little bit more exciting. But I've been good. I've been really trying to reach my goals. I forgot my clipboard so I could show you where I've been checking off everything that was on the list, and I've had a few X's, a few things that didn't get done. But it's been tough. Trying to stick to the monthly sales and things during the week has been challenging, but I probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't set that goal for myself. So I guess it's a good thing. The first week I had to do, or I chose to work on Every Season by Tiny Modernist. And I was able to finish off that bottom left block and all of that border that goes around the outside edge. I'm working on the border as I go. I also was able to finish up this whole square, and pretty much I had to do the border all the way around. I did discover one thing as I was stitching along. The pattern calls for little spaces here, and I did not leave a space there. So then when I got down here, I just said, not leaving a space, and I'll go back and fill that in later. This one, that third season, fall, took me an extra month to get done, but at least I got it done, and look at how beautiful it is. Looks so good, if I do say so myself. Okay, so because I got that focus piece and gold done on the weekend, I was able to have a new start. And I started what I call the bee sampler. Kevin will put in the real name for me. Here's the pattern. And here's my start. I got her dress started, I got the whole basket done, and I'm starting on the big strawberry plant. I had a few setbacks right away. First start, first day, first setback. I realized I had said last week that I didn't have all the colors, but I could just start anyways. Well, the very first color was the dress, and I didn't have it. So I just went in my stash and I picked something else. It's a little bit darker blue, but it's still pretty. Then I was going along, working on the basket, got those berries done, and then I got to the green, didn't have the green. Realized that that green was, you know, throughout this whole plant. So I didn't want to just pick something else. I didn't want to use the DMC because I really wanted the variegation. So I posted in our local South Carolina Stitches Facebook group, and I had some stitchy kindness, and I don't want to say her name because she didn't give me permission, but she sent me the floss that I needed because I couldn't find it anywhere. She sent it to me. Ooh, you don't need to see the price. There you go. So that's what I needed. She sent it to me, stitchy kindness, so thankful. Turns out Fire Poppies, which is my LNS, is also a member of the SC Facebook group, and they contacted me and said, hey, we have this floss in stock. Do you want us to add it to your order that they were filling that day? And I just thought that was so nice. That is great customer service. I declined because I knew that my stitchy friend was going to be sending it to me, but I just thought that was really nice. So I was able to pull that out last night after I got the floss, and I put in the green that you saw, and I was able to start on the strawberry bush. Then this past week I had my focus piece. My goal during SANE-IA was block 10 of Lori Holt's Prim Stitch series, and I didn't pull the pattern, but it has a cat in it, but I decided to make the cat look like my cat, Friday, which is black and white. Obviously, I am not finished. I'm a little behind schedule, but I don't mind. I'm going to extend this focus piece into next week. I actually had a different one planned for next week, but I'm gonna just scratch that off, and I'm gonna continue with the Prim Stitch series as my focus piece because I wanna get caught up. I'm a month behind. This month's is this one, Gratitude and Grace, I believe. So I'm really trying to finish this in June so that I can start the Flea Market Flowers sale when they start it in June. So that's my plan. I'm gonna extend this piece, even if I don't get all the border done because it is along the bottom and that's a lot of border to do, but if I can get a good chunk and get caught up, that would be nice. So there is no black anywhere in this pattern at all, except on my Cat Friday. So I hope it's going to look okay. I haven't actually pulled it out and looked at it. And if you notice, the black, the coverage really isn't that good. Like if I was stitching this on its own, I might go for 3 strands instead of 2. But I'm thinking because it is the only black in the pattern that letting it be a little thin might, it just might look better overall, make it be less stark. So I'll let you know what I think about that in my next video. And then even though I didn't finish that, I didn't care. I was starting my next new start for SANE-IA. And it is Cross Stitch Nation. I told you my hardships with this. I'm still waiting on some floss. I'm taking a road trip tomorrow with some friends down to Fire Poppies. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they have the rest of the floss that I need. Because I have been working on kitting this up since January. I told you all about my fabric woes. But last night, watched a movie and I got that little start during the movie. It was really hard to concentrate on the stitching because the movie was good. I'll tell you about it in a little while, but that's what I got. One little lady. I'm probably gonna work on that some more tonight because technically I was supposed to have the new start today, but you know, who cares? We can do whatever we want. We set these schedules, we don't have to keep them. So that was my 2 focus pieces, my 2 SANE pieces, and my 2 new starts so far for Stitch SANE-IA. Next I'll go into my WIPs that I've been just working on in between those other projects. I got a little bit more done in iStitch. You'll notice that I kind of branched up to the top because I got a little bit paranoid that my fabric wasn't going to be big enough because I just kind of stuck it in the hoop and started stitching it the day I started it, and I didn't exactly double check that it was centered. So I think it's coming along nice. I still love the fabric. I still love the blue tones. And this is a start along that Roladex Stitches and I started at the beginning of May. Notice we didn't say stitch along, it's a start along because it's just at your own pace. We have a few other people stitching it with us. The hashtag is @SSGotSal. I'd love to have you. The pattern is designed by Kevin. It's in our Etsy shop. Of course, Game of Thrones. You either love it or hate it. I actually hated it all the way up until the day I started it. All 8 seasons, I didn't know really anything about it. Didn't know anyone that watched it. Just missed the boat on that one. And then one day I was like, well, I'll give it a try. Well, 3 months later and all 8 seasons were done. Absolutely loved it. I want to watch the whole thing again. My next WIP is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I used to work on it every Saturday, but once I started making these FlossTube videos, I filmed them on Saturday. So I don't know, I just was finding that I didn't have time for it or whatever, so I moved it to Sunday. So this is my Sunday project. And it's coming along very nicely. Sorry, I didn't iron it for you. And I got a whole another pumpkin done, or finished, just rolling it up so you can see where I did this past week. I finished this pumpkin, I did all this grass, I did these little stars, and then I brought the border out. Look at the variegation in that floss. You know, when I first started seeing people stitch this, they said, oh, the floss, and it really is all about the floss. It's beautiful. Lovely pattern. There's a lot of negative space, so it goes really quickly. You know, just a couple hours on one day a week, and I'm really making good progress. I think I might actually get it done by the fall. And I know I had mentioned that I was running out of floss, and I've consecutively run out of every color that I've needed, so I went ahead and ordered a second one. So I guess you just need 2. If you're planning on stitching it, get 2 of every color. Next little WIP that I just worked on this morning while I was out on my patio. It's Saturday, it's sunny, it's warm, you know where I'm gonna be. I worked a little bit more on Savor Every Stitch. This is one of the patterns that I plan or hope to get finished during SANE-IA. I just finished the scissors and the word stitch, and I know you can't see it, but there's actually one little pink stitch over here. I was just gonna start the flowers, and then here's the thread hanging down. Then we had a dog issue and I had to take care of it. Here's the pattern. Savor Every Stitch by Luminous Fiber Arts. Love it. The other piece that I've been working on is my WIPGO call, which I went over last video, but in case you didn't see last video, I am doing WIPGO, and I'm not going to go into everything about what WIPGO is because everybody's been over it now a million times, but she calls 2 numbers each month, and both numbers were the same project this time. It was my temperature chart. Kevin will put in who it is by in the link because I forgot to write that down. Here's my progress. You can see that I started to get some colder temperatures. All blues and greens. You do the pattern from the middle. So that was the very first day, that little bit of blue, and it was, I think, in the 50s. And then we never had another day that cold. It just worked out that way. So the whole rest, you go around in a you know, like a square circle like that. I don't know how to describe that, but that's how it's stitched. And there's a lot of orange. You can see some hot days. The red must have been really hot. I don't remember the exact details of what color is what temperature. But I had said in my last video that I had gotten caught up through December, so I thought that I had January and February to finish. And so I was just going to do March, and I was just going to finish it all because both WIPGO numbers were called. Well, when I pulled it out this week, I realized that I didn't finish through December. I was only through like the 18th of November. So that was a little bit more months to get caught up on, but all the way caught up through, I think, January 7th or 8th. So I've already completed one WIPGO block and I'm like 7 days away from the next one. I'm not sure if I'm going to still finish because that still leaves February and half of March. If I have time and if I feel like it, if I get in the zone, I'll do it. If not, I'll wait for it to be called on the WIPGO board again. The thing with this project is you stitch, you know, in a 5 by 5 little block for each day, and the temperature changes almost every day. It feels like there's not very often that it's the same temperature days in a row, so it's a lot of color changing, so it can be quite tedious, but it's very pretty. I'll show it one more time. Very cute, very pretty. Glad to see the finish line on that one. So I had a few finishes in the past 2 weeks. First up, I finished my May tray. This is by Puntini Puntini. It's very cute. It says Best Mom under there. The whites don't show up as good as I would have liked. I think I might actually switch. I have been using 32 count platinum Lugana, which I love, but if the next month, which I haven't looked at, has a lot of white, I think I'm gonna go for a different fabric because the white flowers just really don't show up very well. And you'll notice there's a bow this time. I'm sure you all watch Stacie C Stitches, and Erin on one of the recent episodes said that if there's bows or embellishments or anything like that, it's because she's covering up something. Well, Erin, I'm right there with you this time. I was just going along and I cut out the sticky board, got the batting on there, getting ready. Then I get my fabric ironed and I start measuring, and I usually, most things I finish, I trim every piece up an inch from the, you know, the edge. I just trim it an inch all the way around, and then I do what I have to do. Well, I made the first slice along the bottom, and I was like, what am I doing? This has special measurements. Like, I just was cutting and not even thinking about it, and so I almost ruined this project. So the point is, I had to make it a little bit lower than it normally would be in this tray because I cut along the bottom, so it was uneven. I had all this space up there. So I found that bow and I was like, this is gonna do. I just put it in there. That was really scary. My next finish is a pattern by Kevin. I've shown it to you. It is our peace flag. I got that all stitched up. I had Kevin stain the hoop a matching blue, and I put that little, I don't even know what you call that, twill or ribbon, I don't even know what it's called. But I just put that around it. I'm gonna hang it on this mirror that I have, and I decided to just leave the edges out and have it be, you know, kind of flowery. I just think it looks pretty with the dimensions of the fabric. I just think it looks really pretty hanging with that little frill on the edge. I don't know if that technique is called anything, but I've done it on a few pieces. I think it's pretty. And if the edges fray, that's okay. That pattern is also in our Etsy shop. There is that pattern alone, or there is 2 other designs, and you can get like a little 3-pack of different shaped flags. Okay, the last finish is a big one. There we go. Long May She Wave by Stitching with the Housewives. I did a big push this week to get that done. I had hoped that it would fit on our finishing piece that Kevin made, but the dimensions weren't right. So I had shown this little chalkboard in a previous video, and it fit perfectly. I had that little freedom bead thing and some buttons. I think it looks really cute. I'm pretty pleased with it. I had just a little bit of haul this week. I don't know if y'all saw, but Rebel Stitcher had Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered, the needle minder. If you don't know, that's a podcast. It's one of my all-time favorite true crime podcasts. It's my favorite murder. They're so funny. I've seen them live. I went up to Charlotte with a friend, a quilty friend, and saw them. Really good. So this was one of those, I just couldn't pass it up. Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered by Rebel Stitcher. And I figured since I was showing you that, I would show you some my favorite murder stitches that I've done. I think I might have put this picture in an intro one time, but stay sexy, don't get murdered. And this is a quote from one of their episodes. Get a job, buy your own shit, stay out of the forest. If you don't listen to that podcast, check them out. They're super funny. I love their hometown stories or their mini-sodes. They're so funny. Last little bit of haul. I got some floss, but I didn't pull the floss out. But, you know, floss can't travel alone, as they say, or is it the pattern can't travel alone? I don't know. Whatever it is, you gotta add something. So I added in, since I just finished up that stitching with the Housewives pattern, I bought another one. How does your garden grow? It's really cute. These patterns are a lot of work. They're a lot of fun. They have a lot of components, but they take a bit. They're a bit of a commitment. This one's smaller though. I think this one's only 5 by 7, but it has everything in it that I love. Sunflowers, daisies, strawberries, birdhouses, birds. I had to get it. So along with that order from Fire Poppies, they sent me this little letter with a needle minder on top. It says, I'm kind of a big deal to my LONS, and that is local online needle shop. So I thought that was really nice. Hand addressed envelope. I thought that was sweet. So it's kind of a quick video this time. A lot of projects got a lot of consecutive days in a row, a lot of attention, so that's less to show. There was a lot of stitching. I'm pleased with my patriotic finishes. I'm excited to get those up, get some pictures taken. Of course, we'll show them. I told you that I was watching a movie while stitching on Cross Stitch Nation. I was watching it with my daughter. To backtrack a little bit, we saw The Invisible Man last year sometime when it came out in the movies, and we really loved it. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's some shocking moments. It's a thriller, and I've been trying to get her to watch it with me at home for months, and she keeps saying no or busy or whatever, so she's like, okay, we'll watch it. Well, now we can't find it for free. I don't know if it ever was free. We have all the platforms. We have Amazon Prime, we have Hulu, we have Apple TV, we have Netflix, we have HBO Max. I mean, we have all of them. The only thing we don't have is cable. Well, we couldn't find it for free. But we did find The Woman in the Window. When I saw that, I was like, stop, go back. And I said, that's based on a book. I effing love that book. That is one of my all-time favorite books. That is a great psychological thriller. If you like to read, you've got to read The Woman in the Window. It is by A.J. Finn. Then you can watch the movie on Netflix. Of course, the movie is not nearly as good as the book, but it was good. It was still really good. My daughter was like on the edge of her seat. It has some good plot twists. Since I decided I was going to tell you about some books, I figured I'd tell you what I'm reading now. I'm reading The Wrong Family by Taryn Fisher. I can't give a thumbs up or thumbs down yet because I'm only maybe 30% through, but I really like it so far. I wish it was one of those books from Kindle where you can read it or listen to it, because I would be listening to it while I was stitching for sure. It's gonna be that good, I think. I also finished up Defending Jacob. That is on Amazon. No, that is on Apple TV, I think. I didn't even know that they had made a show out of that. I read that book years ago and I loved it. I love picking a book by just barely skimming the back so that I have just the tiniest bit of a clue of what it's going to be about. So I'll be really surprised with what happens. And that was a good one. I was pleasantly surprised by Defending Jacob. And so they made a TV show on from that, and it's really good. I finished that this week too. That was, as far as I can remember, because I read that book years ago, it was really true to form. I don't remember there being any instance where I was like, oh, that didn't happen in the book or whatever. What else did we do over the past 2 weeks? We got for Mother's Day every year, I don't get an actual gift. I don't get, I don't ask for jewelry or a dinner out or anything. I mean, sometimes I still get those things, but what I ask for a good 5-8 years now is a trip to the flowers, the plant shop, and I get the new perennials that I want, the annuals, I get all the stuff. And I have my sons and my husband plant it all for me. So that's what we did, 2 days worth of planting, and it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna fill in nicely. I'm excited. I've never planted full-grown sunflowers before, or zinnias, so we'll see. As those grow, I'll post pictures and I'll let you know. Little update on the garden. We did not do a vegetable garden. We only added to the herb garden. That's the goal for this year. That's what we got. We're not moving it. So if we can't have a vegetable garden ever again, then that's the way it's going to be. Instead of moving the vegetable raised bed to a different spot in the yard, we decided to build a fire pit. So that's what my husband's working on this weekend and the next coming weekends. He was able to get some really nice brick stones from a neighbor who didn't need them, so I'll let you know how that progresses. He asked my input. I said I don't want any part of it. It's all up to him. I don't want to have to make any of those decisions. I have enough just figuring out what I want in the garden, never mind if I want crushed stone or what around the fire pit. I'm like, Kevin, that's all you. So the last thing I can think that we did this week is we actually had a school function. We had an after-school activity. My youngest son is a freshman in high school. He's in the marching band and he's in the symphonic orchestra, I guess they call it when it's not marching band season. And so they had their spring concert this year. We haven't had a band concert since December of 2019. There was no spring 2020, and there was only 2 very short marching performances. 2 like half performances at football games. There was no competition, there was no travel. I mean, that's how the year was for everybody with COVID. But my son had been saying the spring concert's coming up, and I just put it on the calendar and I didn't have any feelings about it one way or the other until Monday night. It was time to go. I had to put my cross stitch down and I put my shoes on and I thought, I'm going to a school activity, and I started to get really excited. And once we got in there and they started playing, it was really, really nice. You don't realize how much you miss those things until you can be a part of it again. And it was beautiful. Those kids are very, very talented. Once you get to the senior level of band and they've been studying since 6th grade, it is a great show. So that was really fun. I can't think of anything else that I've done over the 2 weeks. I'm basically just work and stitch, so not too much else. So real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to Stacie C Stitches. She has recently started her own FlossTube channel. I hadn't heard of her, and somehow Kevin showed me that she had given us a shout out. on her video, and I thought that was super nice. She gave us some props. She said she liked my bag making, and I appreciate that. Thanks so much, Stacie. She's fun to watch. I've been getting caught up on her videos. I've been getting caught up on her videos. I hope you enjoyed the video today. It was so good to chat with y'all and show you what I've been up to. I hope you have a good 2 weeks, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.